Martin.
Hi, Debbie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Hi, Reese and Mark. Everybody's signing on all at once.
Yeah.
Martin. Hey, Mark. Hey, Debbie.
Hi, Reese.
Hey, Mark.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
How is everyone?
Great.
Pretty good.
You?
Busy.
Good.
Yeah, I got me out of work this evening to come to join this.
Hey.
Since there is a debate going on.
So I hear.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Mark.
How are things with you?
Busy.
As I'm dropping all kinds of stuff and making crazy noises. We're gonna have a quorum.
Yeah, the only person I heard that is not going to be or joining us tonight is Leah Beth. So we'll have, as soon as David signs on, we'll have a quorum.
Right on. How's the virtual teaching going, Martin?
It's pretty good. A little challenging, but it's not ideal. We're getting through it. The students are doing pretty good and all that. So,
Yeah.
but it's hard to teach an ensemble class online. So we've had to kind of paste all that together. But they're doing okay. We're figuring out ways to collaborate with the internet and all that. So
Nice.
Yeah, so far none of them are sick as far as I know. Hopefully it stays that way, but
Now, did they shut the campus down still, or?
I don't think so. The music school is pretty much closed. You can't do any like singing and wind ensembles. That's like the best way to spread it. If you really want to get sick, that's the kind of stuff you do. So they've kind of canceled that, but there's still classes at the music school, just not that stuff. And I haven't actually heard about the rest of the campus, but I think they're still open.
So don't join a ska band, is what you're telling me.
No, or a choir. I guess choirs are like the really bad ones. So yeah, so they canceled all the big ensembles, all the major ensembles are over. But mine we could technically meet in person, but they asked us not to, so that's fine.
Everybody plays by the same rules.
Yeah, I could just have them play tunes. We could just because we're string music, so we could all wear our masks. But they were the music school was concerned that they might close it down again, which I guess so far they haven't, as far as I know. But they might. I guess you never know.
Well, I think the only one that I know, somebody's going to school in Boulder for film right now, and their biggest objection is that it's the same amount of money to do online as it is to do it. There was no tuition adjustment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess I'm sympathetic to that. But
yeah,
I mean, I had a few students who just took the semester off, which I don't blame you. May as well.
Yeah, if you can do it and not throw you off your rotation on your class schedule,
Yeah, I think that's good for a lot of college students to take a gap year of some sort.
Yeah.
To kind of, I know I could have used that between high school and college. I would have done a lot better.
Yeah. Well, I got my associate's degree first, and then I took a year off, and then I went back for a bachelor, or it was a year and a half. But yeah, it was a good decision.
That's a good way.
Yeah, who at 18 is ready to make like their life's decision?
Yeah.
No, and I was not ready to focus like I needed to. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
so on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hey, Christina.
Hey guys, how are you all?
Good.
I know this will seem odd, but I'm going to take a picture of this. But my 82-year-old dad still does consulting work, and he has to do a Zoom call, and he's terrified of it. So I want to show him that it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. I can honestly imagine nothing less intimidating at this point after 8 months of this.
Yeah, exactly. But it's totally foreign to him. So he's
right. No, absolutely. I get it.
nonstop
Yeah.
about it. So
Right.
And he's an engineer too, so you figure to be able to connect the dots. But he's like, Skype, Zoom, what am I doing? I'm like, I don't know.
I have to say this is easier than conference calls, because with conference calls, you have to dial the number, then you got to put in another number. You
Yeah,
gotta say your name. I'm like, this is better.
Yeah, this is click a link and next finish.
Yeah.
I think we got two more, Clarice possibly and Julie to show up. Leah Beth is in Florida, so with her family.
Nice.
David, I'm
Debbie,
trying.
does that mean we, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.
We do have a quorum.
We do have a quorum?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Oh, there's Tim joining us. Hi, Tim.
Hello, how's it going?
Okay, I'm going to screen share and then I'll do roll call.
Okay.
Oh, that did not work, did it?
I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
I think it's fine.
I have a totally different screen on mine. Okay, so it's 5:46. David Carroll,
Here?
Teresa Adams,
Here.
Clarice Ambler is not present, has not joined us yet. Martin Gilmore,
Here.
Mark Hesley,
Here.
Julie Parker,
Here.
and Councilmember Wink.
Present.
And Cheryl will be exiting the meeting at 6 for another meeting. So to make you guys aware. Tim Baca with MOA.
Here?
Excused, we have Vice Chair Leah Beth Pohl. Staff, we have Christina Underhill
Here.
and Mark Mullis.
Here.
All right, did I get everybody? All right, thank you.
So Debbie let us know that Shawn had to excuse himself for our meeting because he had another meeting at the same time that he had to attend. So we will not, we had Shawn scheduled, and everybody knows Shawn Lewis is the city manager. He was going to speak with us at that point. So I think our next on ours is to approve the minutes. Really in the last meeting, other than the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting, there weren't any motions or really any discussions. So the minutes are what we're really, I suppose, approving, other than the agenda as it was done, was the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. So it's a pretty simple group. So somebody has a
I'll motion to approve.
motion to approve. Reese, okay, and a second.
Second.
Right, Martin, that's Martin seconding.
Yep.
Great. So, Christina, I think you are up on the discussion of our budget. Do you want to
Yeah.
share
Sure.
what's
So I'm not
going
going to be specifically about your exact budget, but I just wanted to give an update so you all are in the loop. Legal is working on updating board and commission rules, regulations, what boards and commissions can and can't do, kind of thing. And we're anticipating a training for all board and commission members in the near future, which I think is appropriate. There hasn't been one from my knowledge or from city clerk's knowledge for a while. So it's long overdue. But the one thing I wanted to reiterate to you all is the commission has the authority to make recommendations for expenditures to purchase art, for the puppet show, different things. But ultimately, I have the authority to approve those expenditures, which happened with the puppet show. We move forward with that. And so that's the update on the budget. Just so you all know, we'll want to set a budget for 2021 with goals of what you want to accomplish. And we're still figuring out on the city side of, is that something that's going to be presented to council at the end of this year for 2021 or at the beginning of next? So I'll keep you all updated on what that's going to look like going forward. So it keeps everybody on the same page moving forward.
Great. So does everybody, so I don't know if we can talk about the budget as we had been talking about it. Do we want to hold off on that, Christina? So each year we had, I think the difference of what the rules are now, which as you explained to me, what we had done is at the beginning of each year, we had discussed a budget amongst the commission and kind of guided the monies that we had into various projects that reflected a strategic plan that was presented in 2018. We did not share that, though we asked a couple of times, but did not share that with City Council. So that's different. And that's something surely we could do. But is it appropriate for us to look at what we've already talked about as our budget for this year moving forward, or do we need to wait for the new rules before we move forward with additional expenditures out of that?
I don't want to delay projects necessarily. What we're determining in what has to go to council, what doesn't. Typically in any expenditure that we we follow the procurement policy. So for example, the puppet show originally was under $10,000 paid directly to the artist group, but then it's changed since then, and now we're at I believe $13,000. And so now we require a contract moving forward. So there's things like that, like the Swedish horses. I think the current quote is just over $10,000 for the horses. We're working to see if that can be updated to reduce some of the expenses on there that may not be necessary. So we don't have to go through a whole contract procedure with that, and it can speed up the process some in completing some of these projects. So, you know, maybe we put this on next month's budget to review actually what you have accomplished this year, which will be November. Yeah, we're getting towards the end of the year here. So it might make sense to put the budget together of kind of hopes and dreams of what we want to see in 2021, what we've accomplished in 2020. You know, I think you have about $84,000 in the budget for the 1% for the arts, so we can look at future projects to use some of that funding for. So I'd probably recommend adding a budget discussion in the November meeting to go over what we can do for not only this year but next.
Okay, so as you guys know, I mean, we had established a budget with, as we talked about, and we can definitely follow those procedures. What I wanted everybody to realize as well, I don't know if everybody's on board, but the $8,000 for the shadow puppet is no longer coming out of the 1% for the arts. And so that does free up that money, as it were, because it's no longer coming out of there. So I didn't know if everybody knew that or if that was news to people. So I just wanted you to know that. Great. So does anybody have any other questions about how that for Christina on the budget? No? Okay. So next on the agenda is kind of a Shadows of Sleepy Hollow update. Christina, I know you're first on the line here too, so if you want to go ahead with that.
Yeah, I'll give a quick update, and then Julie or David, whoever has an update actually on the production itself, can give an update on ticket sales and how things are going, how the first weekend went. So I just want to let you know we're working on getting the contract finalized with Katie Williams. Because we went over that $10,000 threshold, we do require a contract now. Originally, we didn't because it was under the $10,000 mark. So we're working with her on that. And we've cut a check already. Communications did for $4,000, hopefully to help out with some of the initial expenses. They still have $9,000 remaining. It'll be on that pending contract. Our legal department's done the initial review. There's a few updates that are needed to the contract. So when she gets that back to us, we'll process the update on the PO and should be good to go. So that's what I have for that. So David or Julie, do you want to give an update on how the production is actually going?
Yeah, I can give an update. I have a report from the house manager. So we had 93% of the slots were filled for the first show, or the first week, or first night, I guess. They're multiple shows. And let's see, we had a couple of walk-ups. It seems like the age group served for young children through the elderly, but primarily the 30s and 40s age group. The weather was mild with some smoke, but not, didn't seem like it was causing problems for people. We did have one ADA accessible person that did join one of the groups. And there were no problems with people not wearing their masks or anything like that. So I think it went really well, and people were giving good feedback on enjoying the show as well.
Yeah. If I can, I wanted to share one story with you guys. And I know that you're all on this commission because you understand and believe in the arts, but this was something that happened. So I volunteered to help in the traffic area, which was a little boring, but was necessary so that people didn't drive into the parking lot and, you know, disrupt the performance. But while I was standing there, this gentleman came up in his wheelchair, looked a little, you know, heavy, you know, bigger gentleman, was missing one leg, had long hair, and I thought, oh boy, you know, what is the conversation going to be? And as he came up, he asked what was going on. And I explained to him that it was a shadow puppet on the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and that there was various vignettes, and he could see the one tent with the sheet down that the vignette was going to start in. And he said, well, how does this work? And I said, well, there's groups of 6 to 7 people. They get tickets and they watch, they go from vignette to vignette with an actor. And he said, oh, there's tickets involved. And I said, yeah, there's, you know, many of these actors and performers haven't been working since, you know, early in the beginning of the year due to COVID. And he said, yeah, you know, I understand my nephew works within the music industry as some kind of stage manager. Martin, you might understand more what it was than I did, but he said, and he's had a really tough time with it. So he understood all that. And he was standing, and he was kind of behind the road barrier. And I said, oh, if you'd like to see this, there's the actor and the participants are coming up. And there was probably 6, I'd say, adults within their 30s. They had cups from, I would guess, from the Grand. And so they had purchased their drinks in our district and were walking up there. And so he waited for the show to start. And I kind of watched him to that, over to the side there. And as this part, and this is the part where Ichabod is turned down by his I don't know if his mate, to the woman that he's in love with. And very cleverly done. It has a couple of interesting jokes and, you know, side jokes in there that are subtle and funny. And so as this show is going on, he's leaning farther and farther up and trying to look more and more at the show as itself. And I can watch him, and he's kind of getting out there. And then the last scene of this series is Ichabod's face surrounded by the light, and then it goes dim. And just as it went dim, the other people were kind of like, oh, where do we go? He kind of stood up and he started clapping, and he continued to clap until after the people left. And he looked at me and he just was like, that was wonderful. He said, how does, you know, where are the other spots? And so I think for most of us that are in the arts, right, we know that those moments that take people away from the, you know, the harshness maybe of the COVID and the pandemic or whatever was going on is why we do this. But I just wanted to share that one simple story of what was going on with that one person, and how special I thought that was. So I think it speaks a lot to what this whole event was about. So
Thanks, David.
You bet. All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to ask about that part? So, Christina, I don't know if you have, you know, our last step with the crosswalks was really to try to, I think at the last meeting, we talked a little bit about how there were businesses and community groups that saw the crosswalks both on, you know, Facebook and whatever it was that they were out there. and had reached out and said, how do we make one of those happen? How do we make that happen? And I think it was, I know from early on with Leah Beth and Dana, who some of you know, and myself early on, it was our intent to try to convince the city that this could be a process with them, the organization paying for it, that might allow these to organically pop up throughout our community as the community wanted them. And so the next step was really to put that application somewhere, or to at least direct people when they said, how do I try to do this? Direct them to somewhere. And I think Christina has an update on that for us.
Yeah. So initially, I think the request was to put it on the Public Works website, the application, as Public Works will have to approve these along with you all. And ultimately, they weren't sure if they really needed it on their website, but we do have the commission website, the Cultural Arts Commission website. So Debbie is going to place it on there and then send you all the link once it's up. The one request we have is the application that I have looks like it's still draft. So I don't know if David, you have the most updated one. If you could send that to Debbie and I, we'll get it posted this week and then have the link out. So then if you do have interested businesses or parties, then it'll be up and ready. We will put the request to, if anybody fills out the application and wants to participate, that will go back to Debbie, and Debbie will then vet that out to the commission and Public Works so that conversation can get started.
So Christina, just so I'm clear, when we were doing the kind of the pilot to see how that would work, I think Lucia had created somehow a back end where when that application was submitted, emails went out to various people just to say, okay, here's the application and here's the, I believe it went to Councilmember Wink, the commission chair, which is me right now, but doesn't always have to be, whoever the commission chair is. It went to Debbie, I believe. Debbie, correct me if I'm wrong. And then I believe it went to Guy, but again, it doesn't have to. But just so everybody kind of knew this was, you know, oh, this is on our radar. It doesn't have to work that way if that's not how you want it to work, but it seemed to work pretty well to just kind of give everybody an update like, oh, this is coming.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check with Lucia tomorrow and see if that back end still exists, and if so, we'll link to it and be done. And we'll send you all the link to it too. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure they're using the survey function in the CMS. So I could, I think I could help you set that up, Christina.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, we'll check with Lucia, and if not, we'll work with you, Mark.
Cool. Yeah, it seemed to work really well.
Good.
Hi, Clarice. Joined us. Great. I think next we had on the list was the conservation plan. I don't know, Martin, did you and Leah Beth get a chance to chat?
We talked just briefly, but I don't really have control of this project yet. I mean, I do, but I guess I could use another meeting, maybe with you, David, or kind of get a grasp on where we are with it, because I'm not. We both have 1-year-olds, and our meeting was not that productive. Sure. I guess hers isn't quite one yet. But I'm not. I guess I'm sort of confused about which. We were going to do some kind of maintenance on some project that needed multiple bids, but I can't figure out which one that was off of what I wrote down in our discussion. Do you remember which one it is?
Yeah, we can do that offline if you want.
Yeah, that's okay. That's really what I need to do is kind of get track of get a hold on it. So she and I talked, but our meeting wasn't everything I needed, I guess.
Sure. And just, Christina, to give you an update on what we had, it was our understanding, and I believe I still have that paperwork, and I can pull that up at some point. When I believe it was when the initial ordinance of the 1% was adopted by City Council back many years ago. In there was either a suggestion or a requirement that 25% of the 1% would be set aside for maintenance. And we, about 2 years ago, we took some of that money of the 25% and hired again, and maybe this wasn't the proper way to do it, but we hired a consulting firm that has done conservation work for cities of our size and municipalities of our size and collections of our size. So they've done it for Longmont and Breckenridge and all these other areas, and did a conservation assessment on all of our pieces. And as such, it was a 5-year plan. They estimated it would cost $60,000 to do everything over the 5 years, and that we asked them to break it up into kind of seriously, needed to happen right now, not so serious, and then could be just, there's some of our pieces that are in really good shape that the city has, and those just needed to have kind of a general maintenance every once in a while. And to be honest, there are some that are in a really bad shape. And so we tried to take care of some of the ones at the beginning, but later, and part of it, as Martin was saying, I think just to give everybody an update, is our 20%. I think one of the pieces, Martin, I remember, it was over our 20% that we were required to allocate to fix it, because I think it's in really bad shape. And so we were trying to figure out how do we use that plus raise some other money. So, but we can come back and do that. And if you don't have that, I believe Debbie has. Debbie, do you have that conservation plan?
And Reese, did I give you a copy of that too when you came on? And Mark?
Oh, are you asking Christina and Mark if they received it?
Well, Mark Hessling and Reese, I wasn't sure if I did give them a copy in their packet when they joined the commission.
Okay.
And Christina and Mark Mullis, I'll get you guys a copy if I did.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking maybe that'd be good to send out if we're going to look at budgets in November, have that in our back pocket to utilize for goals and what we need to, the maintenance and conservation efforts towards.
Okay, I'll forward a copy to everyone.
Debbie, I've got that book with me right now, and I don't think the budget's in here.
Mark, it's more of I think it's a 25 to 30 page document that outlines all the collection and their assessment on each piece.
Well, okay, no, I'm looking at, all right, hey, I've got this fun thing here. I think that's what you're referring to.
That might be it. Yeah.
And
I think it's had this, so I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
I think it had this cover.
Yeah, no, I got it. It was in that in the folder you gave me, Debbie.
Okay.
And was this team just Leah Beth? Was it just Leah Beth working on this, or was there somebody else?
So we did it as a group. I mean,
Yeah.
we went through the process as we knew it at the time to move this forward, and then and we all reviewed it as a group.
Yeah.
And then what we needed was somebody to kind of champion it. Like you said, I mean, we all are volunteers.
Right.
Right. We're all trying to do this. So we just needed somebody to keep coming up and go, hey guys, remember that this piece, we still need to have, I don't know, I'm just making this up, $40,000 to make this happen, to fix this.
Okay.
And Leah Beth took that on. And so she, in the first 2 years, I think, we got some pieces conserved and taken care of.
Yeah.
And so those should be checked off.
Okay. All right. Then I'll catch up this month on that.
Yeah, I'll touch base. Anybody have anything else on that? Okay. So, as we talked about this Swedish horse project, and again, sounds like we need to go back and revisit the costs and what those are about. But we did. I'll just give a little brief history as well for people that are unaware of maybe where this came from. About 2 years ago, Dan Parimba and the director of marketing at that time were talking to Swedish Hospital, and Swedish said, we have these fiberglass horses that are about 4 foot tall and 3 foot wide, I think, or 2 foot wide. And we've got them in this warehouse, and we would really like to just get rid of them. But it was suggested that maybe we share these with the Arts Commission and you guys could do something creative with them. And so we thought that was a great idea. And so Swedish said, great, you take them. And then at the time, Parks took all of those and took them over to a warehouse. So I believe they're still in a warehouse in at Parks. And we walked through with the Public Works Department at that time, possibility of where they would be placed and how we would do this. We've done research with other cities. We've reached out to San Luis Obispo, if I say that right, in California, and they shared their documents and costs and how they went about it. And then I've spent a little time in Chicago, so I reached out to some connections in Chicago, and they shared their cows. And I think San Luis, I think they were both cow programs. So as you probably know, there's pig programs, and there's, I think Seattle did fish, fiberglass fish, and there's a bunch of them out there. But so I will shut up now, and I'll let Reese take the floor.
No, thanks to David and Mark and Christina, Maria, we all walked the route for where the horses were previously discussed to be placed. And I think we came up with some, we'll confirm some of the locations, found some better locations. And, you know, out of that came, we need to contact a couple private landowners just to kind of get their blessing. And yeah, I think offline, David, Christina, we should just revisit the budget. Actually looks okay from the art management company now. They honored the original budget, and with Parks's help in transportation costs, we'll be under that $10,000 mark. But revisiting the marketing budget, the artist budget, all the other expenditures that come with it, just to make sure that we're on the same page and fine tune if necessary. But I think that's kind of the long and short of it at this juncture.
Great, thanks, Reese.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions on this project? We're moving forward. Cool. And then, so anybody have anything else they want to say within the old business area? If not, we'll move on to the student art calendar. Give Mark the floor.
Great, yeah. So I think earlier today you all received an email from Debbie with a link to go in and start to add your votes. If you aren't familiar with this, each year we put together a calendar featuring art from students throughout Englewood. Also as Catholic, the Englewood High, Englewood Middle, Elementary, etc. Charles Hay as well. And so just take a look. There's 51 pieces in there. We're trying to narrow it down to 13. So if you all would rate them, and they'll come out for the 2021. The top selections will come in the 2021 calendar. It's just, these get widely distributed, and it's just a really great way to feature art from the students in the community. So this is something that as I walk around the Civic Center, I see these calendars in just about every office. So these get widely seen. So we would really appreciate you contributing to the voting. And since this is usually done at the meeting annually in person, but we're doing it a little differently this year.
Great. Anybody else from staff want to share anything?
I think we covered it. Thank you, guys. We appreciate your patience too with the puppet show and some of the issues we've dealt with. So I appreciate you guys, and keep up the good work. You guys are doing some good stuff.
Thanks. All right, so I'll just go down the list of who I see and give anybody an opportunity in our commissioner's choice to say anything if you want. Mark, you're top of my little Zoom list, so
No, I'm good. Thanks, though.
great. Reese, you have anything?
All good, thank you.
Martin?
Nothing from me. No.
All right. Julie?
I'm pretty good, but I hope you guys will all come see the show.
Clarice?
Nothing from me.
Thank you. And Tim?
No, I think you and I can talk offline about the other thing I sent you today, but I don't have
Yeah.
anything else.
All right. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone.